All right, here we are. Final interview of AMRL 2021. And Jake and I are so underprepared for this conversation, Aaron. We literally took no notes this time. We've gone into every other conversation with a lot of great notes, but we're like, you know what? He's a manufacturing happy hour alumni. You've been here before. Yep. You've done the whole story. You've told us about Wiseacre Brewing, which we've drank while we've been here in Memphis. And we're going to have more fun before this whole thing is done. But the event itself is starting to wrap up. And I guess the first question, Aaron, is how are you feeling?
Very good.
Good.
We put a lot of time and effort. The team from A3 was amazing to work with. Everyone at FedEx put in as much support as they could, and it showed. And the conference center was wonderful the entire time. I've heard nothing but positivity. So I'm so happy and so tired at the same time.
Can we talk about Memphis for a second?
Yeah, let's start with Memphis. I have some constructive questions, but we'll start with Memphis.
This is Memphis, first time in Memphis ever. It is just a beautiful city. I mean, I wish I had someone following Chris and I around last night on the bird scooters. Yeah. I mean, as we're literally zipping around town from place to place on some scooters, it was just the culture, the view, beautiful downtown city, with just some amazing, breweries and food. Just awesome.
Yep.
And I was going to say, manufacturing happy hour style. Let's say we're having drinks and dinner at like Bishop's tonight.
Yes.
Just Bishop or Bishops? Bishop, singular. So let's theoretically say we're doing that, right? If someone asks you, it's like, what was one of your best takeaways from the conference? What would your answer be, Aaron?
Wow, man, there's so many good takeaways. I just think we're back, guys. We're all back together, and that was. I mean, actually, this question was asked to me before by somebody who was coming down, and she was like, "Aaron, what's the biggest thing you're looking forward to?" I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again. It has been so hard just I'm Zoom tired of everything, and just being able to talk shop and actually see physical robots and all the wonderful technology that is here. It is not just AMRs here. There are a bunch of robots, there's sensors, there's all this support stuff, but it's also just seeing the people again. It was so great just to talk to people that I haven't seen some for over 2 years. And that leads into, we are a community. We are a big community, and we're all here to support each other. And that was what I will ultimately take away is A, we all came back together, and B, showing how tired I am of that. We are a community. We are a group that watches out and takes care of each other, because that's how we all win in this industry.
I like that. This is kind of a different spin. I mean, certainly there's been a communal aspect, but I like that you're emphasizing this here in the last one, because this is a different spin on it. I've got another question, but Jake, I've been stealing a bit of the thunder so far. Do you have one that you want to ask Aaron next?
I mean, when we look at a lot of the different companies here, we're looking at the industry, right? In the last 12 months, there's been $7 billion of VC invested into this robotics industry. In fact, over the 48 hours that we've been here, there's been how many different announcements? I feel like they either planned them around the event or just amazing coincidence. But I mean, we've been here. There's been some amazing partnerships announced, and there's some huge acquisitions.
Yes.
It's amazing how this industry is going. So I guess where is the industry right now on an opportunity scale? Is there still room for startups to enter the market, do you see, Aaron? Or is this one of those things where you're in the game, and if you weren't before?
Boy, good question, Jake. Yes and no.
Okay.
And let me explain. Yes, there are opportunities for startups. There are still a lot of things to solve. But because of the VC rounds and already a lot of the established companies, and because of the acquisitions, if you're a startup that wants to enter this, you're going to have to really nail your stuff down. And the biggest thing for those startups, as a startup, you're always do your customer discovery, really find your customers' pain points. Now more than ever, that is the biggest thing. If you're going to be a startup in this space, you better nail those customer discoveries. You really need to talk to your customers to find what are those still problems that are looking for solutions. And they're out there. Trust me, they're out there. You need to talk to us end users about those so you could see, is those market opportunities still there? Is there space for another AMR company? Maybe not. There's a bunch of established folks out there, great established technology. Same thing with some of the other robot applications, pick and place applications. A lot of money's been poured into that, and a lot of folks are already moving forward. So if you're looking at those, I would be a little more hesitant unless you see something through your customer discoveries that those companies have missed.
And what are you doing to drive interoperability with your solution to expand on that? Because let's face it, if you're going out there trying to develop your own privatized solution, I'm sure there's a better word for that, that isn't collaborating and communicating with other systems, you're going to be left behind.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. With interoperability, I think 2 years ago in Louisville for this conference, when interoperability was brought up, a lot of folks were, well, no, I don't think we need to do that. COVID changed that. With the boom now and the number of robotic systems being deployed, you need interoperability because no one can provide all the solutions we need now coming out of COVID. And so that's where I would actually say that's where we will probably see startups. And here at the conference, we've had startups like In Orbit that are working on interoperability because that is a big thing. So the team at In Orbit did their customer discovery, they see the opportunity, and that's what they're going after. So if you're looking in that interoperability space and you're seeing some gaps and openings, yes, as a startup, go after that. Talk to us, some of us customers, and we'll point you in the right direction.
So I'm going to change gears a little bit here. And since this is the last interview, I'm going to ask the question to all three of us, actually. So I'll answer last. But what's something new we all learned this week? And Jake or Aaron, either of you can go first. Whoever wants to lean in. Jake, you're closer to the... No,
I'm pointing to Aaron.
All right, Aaron, you're still the star of the show, so you get to lead off with what's something new that you learned this week?
The advances in sensor technology that were introduced. One of the big things that was stressed by FedEx and other end users is that we need technology, AMRs, that work indoor-outdoor. They can go from indoor environments to outdoor environments and back to indoor environments all day long. And for the longest time, the sensor technology didn't exist. We heard a bunch of new sensors that are coming onto the market that are actually hitting very important price points that make this economically viable. And so 2 years ago, that didn't exist. And now it is. And I would also say there was some announcements, just some of these partnerships that was like, wow, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense for those two companies to pair up. And it's just going to keep going down this path. And I think we're going to get into a routine where weekly, if not almost daily, we're going to start seeing these breakthroughs in numerous areas, from technology to partnerships to alliances, and the sky's the limit.
Jake, what about yourself? We got sensors from Aaron. What about you?
I'm gonna throw out there the importance of safety and standards. When we're walking out with these solutions, AMRs are being designed around humans. They're being designed around the worker. So when these solutions are being developed, when we're talking about all the different products that are going to be affecting the manufacturing, the automation, the logistics industry, we need to keep a focus. And just the idea that the operators first, the workers first, and any solution that we're designing, we need to make sure the worker is what we're designing around. And it's there to protect the workers' safety, but it's also going back to this idea of what are we doing to make the workers who are in the existing workforce and the workers who are going to be entering the workforce protected, safe, and moving forward with purpose.
Absolutely.
Excellent answer. So we've got a technology answer. We've got a workforce, a people answer. I'm going to go with a geographic answer. And I joked about this in the LinkedIn post I put out on my 3 takeaways from day one. But gosh, a lot of these companies and people are based in Boston right now. Yeah. Like it's, we knew it was a tech hub as it was, but I think a lot of people would associate it with med tech. But it's cool to see this, let's say, more manufacturing centric, this more logistics centric industry and community and ecosystem evolving up there in Boston. So that was one of my big takeaways as well.
And it's already been announced that the next year's conference will be in Boston, and that's great. I think that's always great to go back to those hometowns, and we'll just see what happens after that. But I really think that there definitely needs to be a Boston to Memphis flight.
Yeah, there's somebody's schedule.
Yeah. So Delta, American, United, if you're out there, please look into that.
Good call to action there.
Yeah. And it's just, but I think having those folks leave Boston and actually come down to where a lot of their key customers are and seeing that is a big thing. And I think I would not be surprised if some of those Boston companies start opening like field offices in the Memphis area.
Yeah.
Based off of what they saw this week.
Yeah, let's end on Memphis again, right? Because I was just thinking back earlier, we got to wrap up, but we were talking about theoretically having a conversation at Bishop tonight, right? Tell us what Bishop is, right? You said it's like a mix of like Southern and like French. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Bishop is one of my favorite new restaurants. It opened during the pandemic, so and it is a Southern take on French food.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm glad we are not just theoretically talking about it, but we'll actually get to enjoy that. So
if you were in Memphis, get some Southern French food.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you need a reason to come to Memphis, in addition to it continuing to be the logistics hub of the U.S., if not the world, right? Like you got some good cuisine here as well, not just the barbecue. So anyway, with that, gentlemen, this was fun. Great conference overall. Cheers to you, Aaron. I know you've been really spearheading
Aaron,
a ton of
just phenomenal job putting this together. It's great.
Yep. It was definitely a labor of love, but it's because this industry is so important, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Love it. Well, hey, got it. Only one way to sign out on Manufacturing Happy Hour. First ever Manufacturing Happy Hour, an official collaboration with Jake Hall, the Manufacturing Millennial. To the crew out there, stay innovative, stay thirsty. Signing out from AMRL 2021. Sponsored by A3. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.